Donnie B, GotDaBeats.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Donnie B got the beats, and we live on the beats. You know what time it is every time you hear that theme song. And if you do know what time it is, my man. And if you do know what time it is, you know it's time for that glorious intro, man. So check it. First of all, I got to shout out to my brother, Law Watford. Lawrence Anthony Watford is my guy, right? That's my brother from other mother. And known him since my days at the Hampton Institute of Higher Learning. And, you know, I've had him on a couple of the shows, both the Beat and shout out to Two Flew West. You know, afterwards, you know, Law and I keep in contact. We work on a lot of projects together. And the brother's like, man, I got a brother, man, you need to really check out, man. Like, you really need to check him out. All right, Law. Because, you know, if Law said, I listen to my folk. You know what I mean? And I'm always glad that I do because they come through the gems. So I was listening to this brother. It's like, okay, he got some work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not just a typical DJ. Like, you don't spin what everybody else spin. You have there's a creativeness to you. Your blends is crazy, but there's a lot of imagination in where you take things. And as a music producer, these things speak to my soul. So with that being said, you know, I was like, good, book him. Let's book him on the show. But I came to find out this brother actually is from the Hampton Institute of Higher Learning.
Come on.
This is my guy. I'm stamping it right now. This is my guy right here. I don't want no one here on my show. This is it right here. You know what I'm saying? So this is my guy, man. DJ, music producer, entrepreneur, DJ Fatha Julz. Brother, how you doing today?
Man, thank you so much. First of all, I got to shout out Lawrence too, man. Law was like a person that you just look up to. You know, he's a little bit older than me, but at Hampton, he was just like kind of like in the forefront. Like Law was woke before people were woke. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, he's just stand up guy. And I thank you for putting us together, man. I think this is really a great opportunity for me. But thank you for having me on your show, Donnie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to check you out too. I had to listen to see your tracks, and I'm now a fan. I followed you on your social media because I'm loving the way you produce too, brother. So thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I think we're gonna have a good time this evening.
Absolutely, I appreciate the glorious response to my intro. So thank you. But yeah, we definitely need to get to work real soon, man. For sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's dive into this, man. Like, who is DJ Fatha Julz? Educate the people, man.
Ooh, that's loaded. Who is DJ Fatha Julz? Well, let's see. First off, I'm a child of God, black man in America, so give you some context. But I am, in a professional sense, a musician. I have been a musician pretty much all my life. Not just a musician. I consider myself a student of the sciences, so I also consider myself a scientist, and that includes, you know, like art and music and learning and just in general. So I'm a connoisseur of knowledge. I'm a synthesizer. I put things together. I'm just a overall kind of an artistic person. But who is DJ Fatha Julz? It's hard to put into, you know, a small statement, but I'm a friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm a son. I'm definitely try to be a member of the community. I think I consider myself a good guy, but I know I'm a good time too. So I'm a fun person. But I like to keep the party going. Literally, if nobody gets anything else from this interview. And if everybody that knows me, I'm the one to keep the party going. And so being the DJ, that just kind of flows naturally. So I like to party. I like to have a good time. I like to see people having a good time. I try to promote that at all times. I kind of consider myself like a cheerleader in life. You know what I'm saying? I see my folks doing well. I like to, raise that level up, shout people out, give people their praise, give people their just due, especially in times like this. You know what I'm saying? We got to cherish each moment. So I am a lot of people will call me a Renaissance man. I'm into a lot of different things. But right now I'm heavily into music and trying to get my new project out there. So this is perfect timing, my friend.
Great. Yeah. And this is great. And this is a perfect opportunity. We'll talk about that later on for sure. Because I already know that joint will be blazing, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So growing up in, where are you from? Talk about that, and how did you overcome any obstacles, or how did you become who you are today through where you were from?
All right. I am from the one and only Flint, Michigan. Yes, that Flint, Michigan. Not
Okay.
outside of the city of Flint, Michigan. I'm from the north side.
Okay.
Born and raised, was there until I was 18 before I came to the illustrious Hampton University. So I grew up in the urban center. I come from a family of educators and musicians. So I'm the
Okay.
youngest of three. Both of my brothers are musicians, drummers, organists. I also play the piano, started playing the piano when I was 4. So like music has always been a kind of a part of my lifestyle. Um, been blessed. Parents gave me a good brain, got good genes. So I've always, excelled in school. I always knew I wanted to go to college. I always knew I wanted to get out and make something of myself.
Mhm.
Of course, growing up in Flint in the 80s had its own thing, its own challenges, which you can imagine.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just give you a little context about Flint, Michigan. It was a factory town like GM, like Detroit. In the 80s is that when all of the factories start pulling out, and that's when the government started dropping in cocaine and crack into our neighborhoods. That's documented. We don't even have to, argue about that. So I came up in a time where drugs and gun violence was crazy. Like in elementary school, we couldn't wear certain colors to school
Mm.
because if we was on the bus with the wrong colors, it was going to be a problem. So to give I came from the hood, but at the same time, we still lived kind of sheltered lives. So I am very thankful for my upbringing. I'll be honest with you. When I was 18, I was ready to get out of Flint. I'm glad I did so. Me and my close friends, most people have done that. Oh, hey, Biz. That's my best friend's sister. A Hamptonian as well. She's QT3.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway. um, so Flint was just, okay. So the flip side is Flint, musical city. You know what I'm saying? People think of Detroit being a musical city, but a lot of the musicians that play in Detroit were coming out of Flint. Something in the water there before the water got messed up. It's something in the water in Flint. People are musical. You know what I'm saying?
I want to, and sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, it's
Later
good.
on, I want to chime in about that. Exactly what you said. There's something in the water in Michigan. Just make sure we remember that. Okay.
For sure, for sure.
Please continue.
So I was surrounded by music at all times. Raised in the church, so I was, in church several times a week. At the age of 13, I got pushed into starting playing for some of the choirs myself. So it's like I had a musical outlet from a very early on. I was always super creative as well. I'll tell you a funny story. I used to make songs and musicals. You know those cassette tape players where it was like a and a B cassette, and
Yeah.
you could like record on one and then flip the tape over and then record on.
Yeah.
So I used to make songs back in the day. I've always been about like creation and like, you know, uh, putting fusing things. So only in addition to playing the piano, I also play a few instruments as well. I was involved in like symphony. So like I'm into a lot of different kind of music, if you
Okay.
get my drift. Okay.
Yeah.
So Flint, created, great opportunities for that. I was in the Flint Youth Wind Ensemble, you know what I'm saying? So it's funny, it's a juxtaposition of living in a hood city, but then we still have fine arts. We had a planetarium growing up. We had nice things to do. We had Sloan Museum. So still had some culture. And luckily, by my parents being educators, they kind of guided me in the right direction to do, positive things. So I have no problem. I love Flint. Michigan is too cold for me now. I have lived away from Flint for too long. I cannot move back. I come back once a year to see my lovely parents and my brothers and my family. It's a great place, but just not for me. I'm a Virginia now.
Okay. I had to get the hell away from Virginia. I ain't gonna lie. I can't. Me and
So
Virginia is not on speaking terms right now.
now, what part of Virginia did you live in, though?
Oh shoot, I was all over. Like I
Oh,
said,
okay.
being from DC, came down to Hampton.
Okay.
And
Well, you can stop there because DC niggas hate Virginia. There's always been like that, so I can get it. I
well,
get it.
it's not the people I had a problem with. It's just
Okay.
everything else. It was a sum of a menagerie of a lot of different things that just kept happening. I was like, you know what, I'm good. Look, that the judicial system in Virginia alone by itself, bye.
So
So
I can tell you a few good things, my brother. Things have changed. Virginia is not the place it was 10 years ago. We all the way blue now. They just decriminalized marijuana just the other day. We moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? But I feel you. I also for a while when I left Hampton, I was through in Virginia, but I moved back here about 10 years ago, and I love it because I'm a beach boy. So I'm at the
okay,
beach like 2 or 3 times a week.
I
So
get
it's a
it.
great place for me. And then most of my people are in DC, so I'm up the road all the time, anyways, hop, skip, and a jump. So
I
I'm an
do.
East Coaster.
I do. I like you first off. Another reason.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Nah, but
sir.
yeah, no. Like I said, I mean, I lived in, I was I had a spot in the harbors. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
for
Uh,
sure.
I was in Newport News.
Okay.
I was up in Denby. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I kicked around. You know what I mean? Up Kickintan. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I had spots all over the spot. But like I said, once I left, I left. I was like, "Bloop, I'll see y'all at homecoming.
I
You
hear
know.
you.
So, yep.
Yeah, your people are
Yeah.
in DC. That's what's up. So, that's Dr. Danielle. She's the youngest program director of a psychiatry program in the country. That's my
Woo.
girl. She put me on to my current DJ gig, which we're gonna get to later on.
Absolutely,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. Shout that out for real.
Yes, sir.
Praises go up.
Yes, sir.
Let's really quick before we move on to the next question, because you being the higher intellect that you are, you already covered the next question.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you
I
want, we
gotta.
can touch on it a little bit more though. We can touch on a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah. You know what? Because I'm going to. Okay, so I'm going to divide this. So I've been in the music since I was 4, right? I've been playing for churches, even when I was at school in Hampton. I sung in the choir. I played for concert choir for a little while. But I never considered that. I never considered that the music industry, right?
Right.
So my introduction to the music industry for me is when I started making mixtapes for my friends. This is while I was in Michigan after Hampton. Okay,
Okay.
friends would get together. We would party. I would make mixtape CDs. Really, literally when it was, putting songs together, mixing songs
Right.
together. And I used to get a lot of compliments on my mixes back then. And then I was like, well, I want to do this to this song. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just start trying to teach myself how to make beats. Back in the day, there was this program called Beat Maker. I know I don't
Mhm.
make it no more. Oh, you remember Beat Maker? Okay.
Okay.
And so I was on there start. True that, true that, true that, true that. So I started using Beatmaker, and then that kind of evolved into, instead of me just putting other people's music together, I was starting to formulate my own.
Right.
So like around 2005, like I had made enough songs where to me I had enough material for an album. And back then it was kind of unheard of people just putting their own music out there without having a record label. So like in 2005, I just put an album on to CD Baby, which populated iTunes and all those kind of places.
Right.
And it kind of like took off in a way that I didn't think that it would. So I mean, I was out there hustling, like as in like going to parties. We were putting CDs on people's windshields So when you came out the club, like you had my CD. Funny story. You know how you can put the little label on a CD. So I would use the shiny joint.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, back in the day, those used to get stuck in people's CDs players. So people would catch me, be like, "Yo, that CD you had was fat, but man, it's stuck in my CD player. I can't get it out." So I've been listening to your music for the last 3 or 4 months. It's crazy. So that's how that was my entry, and then once I started to like kind of in my mind gain some momentum, I wanted to do it more. I wanted to do it professionally, do it for other people. So around 2005, 2006 is when I started taking it a little bit more seriously. And that was my entry. It was all self motivated, and then I had a lot of support from my friend group. So people were encouraging me, like, you got something going on here, you should try to do this, and that's how that started.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, it's definitely a great story, man, for real. And I totally understand that whole movement because hell, I was in the studio when I was at Hampton, but it wasn't
Okay.
until after I left Hampton that really, you know, it just kind of just took off. But I
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from with that, man, for real. I did want to ask you though, with regard to Flint, right? And because obviously being in Hampton, there's a whole community of I don't know how do you Michiganders,
Michiganders. Yeah.
yeah,
Michiganders.
okay.
Uh-huh.
And from from the D, Ypsilanti, what I'm saying, Ann Arbor, uh, Flint, what I'm saying, and everybody seems to have some sort of creative, like something dope about them that they do with creativity. And my question is that something that's kind of part of the culture of Michigan as a whole, or would you say that that's something that maybe you didn't experience until you came to Hampton and saw it overall?
I didn't realize that everybody wasn't music centered. When I got to Hampton, I met people where, you know, they didn't know who the Clark sisters was, or, they didn't, exactly, or, they weren't hip to different kinds of music. Now, let me just say, I, to our earlier point, there is definitely something in the water in Michigan, when I say Michigan, I'm also including that little piece of Lake Michigan that includes Chicago, because you can't really separate Chicago and Detroit. All right, but like all the organists, all the choral music, all the fattest producers, and I'm gonna include Kanye, the people who's like minds is out there because of the range of music that we're surrounded by. Is something in the water. It's something different about these people, right?
Right.
Now, I want to tell you what was weird for me, because we talked about Hampton. When I got to Hampton, Aaliyah, who was from Detroit, was just popping off, right? Who was
Oh,
she? Who was she popping off with? The
Kindle.
Virginia crew,
Yeah,
Timberland, Missy,
yeah.
Magoo,
It
all
was
those people.
fire at
So
that
it was
time.
like, oh my gosh. So I was like, I cannot believe this is happening right now. Cause it's like the hometown girl is like vibing with people who's down here.
Yeah,
That was back when Teddy Riley and Blackstreet and them was coming on campus. It was just
yeah,
a great time. You know what I'm saying? I can't even believe we were like surrounded by it. I don't even think I appreciated it like I should have back then.
yeah.
Um, but Hampton, actually, the experience at Hampton expanded my mind with music too. First roommate, second roommate, because I went to pre-college. Shout out to pre-college. My freshman year roommate was from Barbados.
Okay, wow.
In Michigan, we did not listen to reggae or soca or none of that. So that was like a whole new genre of music, which, kind of changes your perspective. Because I'm coming from like Luke and like booty shake dance music. Like that's what you do at a party.
Okay.
It's like Luke, you know what I'm saying? It's like Two Live Crew. Like we used to call it, booty music.
Yeah, what about
69 Boys, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? 95 South. So like listening to reggae and soca was wild, right? He's
right?
from Barbados, but he grew up in where DC. So then I was all around his boys who all listened to go-go,
Yeah.
and I fell in love with go-go from day one. Okay, so I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to my discography, but you can tell that I have an infatuation with go-go. I'm
Yeah.
all about the congas. I'm all about that live sound. If there is a go-go when I'm in DC, I don't care how hood it is, I'm gonna go. But
Yeah.
so I'm saying Hampton exposed me to even more music than I had already, grew up around, which was great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of expanded my mind. It made me, and everything that I hear outside of maybe like classical music, everything I hear, somehow I want to kind of reproduce it in some kind of new way,
Yeah.
So that's how my mind works. It's like, oh, that's fat. I wonder, can I do that?
Right. And do it and blend it with what the other things that I know. See, we both are. I guess we came from the same stock. I guess it's in the Hampton water or something. I feel you.
Hey. Yes, sir.
Indeed. Now, thank you for answering the question. Perfect. Question: DJs versus recording artists. Now, starting in the industry, the industry that everybody talks about when they say the industry, right? This is like
Right.
the 90s, industry, where DJs used to break artists,
Right.
and that was that I won't say that was their job, but that was primarily their thing. So they were kind of in the back, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of, Jam and Jeff. No, sorry, Jam and Jeff. Lord, the Go-Go's. My bad. But
Clue. You had to get Clue. Clue had to play your stuff for it to get heard.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
A DJ had to play your stuff to get heard. Period.
Thank you, and you saved me, and I appreciate that.
It's all good.
But now it seems like DJs are more in the front now. They're on the front lines. They are the personalities. And my question is, how do you feel about that? And have you heard that feeling of that? It's almost like, hey man, y'all in our space now. Like what's your thoughts on that?
So, the world is an ever-changing place, right? There's always going to be disruption. There's always going to be a new way for things to happen, right? So for me, I'm going to go on a little diatribe. To me, like prior to, I make the demarcation like right around Soulja Boy. Prior to that, you had to have a record deal to get your music heard. If that's kind of around that MySpace generation where people were just uploading, and then like people were becoming internet sensations so that you could bypass the traditional system, right? What's up, M? Another Hamptonian. Man, we in the building today. What's up? What's up?
We must rise up because
I love it.
They Howard acting like they trying to come for the neck.
Uh-oh.
It is what it is.
So I think that I don't have a problem with it. I am not a traditionalist. I'm definitely progressive in most of my thinking.
Right.
It was, I don't think that I support systems where there are gatekeepers and control. So I actually am okay with the fact that people can bypass and do things their own way. I actually am looking forward to the elimination of big record industry companies being the end all be all on careers. You know what I'm saying? Right. There are examples of people out here now who are hustling and getting their fan bases up where they don't need the golden Midas touch from, I'm not gonna say a specific company just in case they're looking, but you don't need to get the seal of approval now. All right, so I'm not against that. I do think that performance DJs, because there's a difference. Like there are DJs who are about the craft of scratching and mixing just for the sound, and then there to me are performance DJs who are about the theatrics and the lights and the show. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like a new thing. I think it's actually kind of cool. That's not my thing. I'm a DJ. I'm a blender. I'm gonna take you from this bridge and work in another beat, and then take you to another song and make you think, oh, I haven't heard that in a while. I'm that kind of DJ. We're gonna have fun, but I'm not about like. The show is not about me, because for me being a DJ, the show is on the dance floor. It's for the people that are partying and having a good time. Like when I'm DJing, the focus really is not on me.
Right.
But I don't have no problems with people who that's their game. So I actually am all about embracing the change. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing is going to stay the same. Even the music industry as we see it now, it's going to be unrecognizable in 6 or 7 years. You know what I mean? So it's about, if you want to stay current, you have to keep changing. So I feel like DJs who are in the forefront, what I'm thinking of specifically is like Khaled. Like I like his approach because everybody knows DJ Khaled, right? So like he's almost like picking and choosing which artists he want to work with and then put his own album out, but he's working with established artists, right?
Right.
But I'd like to see other DJs who maybe are doing that same thing, but with maybe like undiscovered talent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And getting and putting them out there. So I actually, to answer your question, I don't have a problem with it. I'm also a recording artist. So to me, those are two different things. Like I produce my own tracks. I sing on my own tracks. I rap on my own tracks. Sometimes I have guest artists on my own tracks. I'm producing and I'm mixing. Okay, so in that sense, I'm a recording artist, and I'm also a DJ. And sometimes when I DJ, I play my own music, but not a whole lot. But I'm gonna be doing that more.
Indeed. No, and I appreciate your answers to that. And seriously, it tends to wonder because again, exactly how much of an entrepreneur or how creative are you if you don't see the opportunity in taking a DJ Khaled approach and finding and working with the undiscovered talent and putting it out. You know what I mean? Like again, that's always been my model. I've always modeled myself that way. And I mean, you can talk to people that know people that know me back in DC, and they'll tell you the same thing. It's like, well, I just want to put us out, put a record together.
Mm-hmm.
You, and let's put it out and see what it do. Because at the end of the day, 10 years from now, we look back and we say we did that 10 years ago. It's awesome. You know what I mean? And it's just for the sake of work of like a painter doing a painting. It's art, bro. Put it up.
Yeah, and put
So
it out there, because even if people don't get into it right now, the way the internet works, just like what was that song a couple years ago? Was it My Boo?
yeah,
Became a TikTok
what
or
is it,
internet
little joint?
sensation.
Yeah,
It didn't chart when it came out, you know. Now, top of the charts at that time period. Or another example is like Lizzo. She put out Truth Hurts in
yeah,
2017.
yeah.
It didn't get any recognition until 2 years later, right? So like
Right.
we sometimes I'm guilty. I have been guilty of this. I am not really so much guilty of it now. Think are looking for like that instant gratification as far as I'm gonna put something out and it's gonna become a hit. Things don't become hits in an organic way. I have
No.
learned that
Yeah,
over
yeah,
time. That is
yeah,
very deliberate. There's always a machine behind the hit. It's very rare for a hit to happen organically, especially now, like you said, how DJs are not in control.
right.
But the benefit is now we have the internet. You literally you have the entire globe. You have the entire everybody that has internet access could potentially be a new fan.
Yeah.
Don't have to speak English. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately put your art out there, because there's somebody that's gonna like it. You will find your tribe. Your tribe will find you. I believe that wholeheartedly.
And I'm here to tell you, I got my first Nielsen sheet. If I can say, probably 2005, 2006,
Okay.
and I was just like, oh, I got folks that listen to me in Malaysia, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, there's people in Japan. Like, oh man, I got like, okay, it's 1,000 people over here in Africa that's rocking right now. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Exactly.
So it opens your minds up and your perspective. And I understand exactly what you're saying, brother. And people need to have more patience
Yes, sir.
for
Yes,
that.
sir.
So
Yes,
I
sir.
feel where you're coming from. But listen, you are definitely on your ways. We already know, brother.
Appreciate that.
No problem. Do you consider the DJ scene to be oversaturated with everything that we said, though? Like, did you like roll out of bed one day and it was just like, you wake up and like, wait, what? Where did you come from? Or where did you come from? Like, you know what I mean? How everybody's a damn DJ. Like, how do you feel about that?
So, I personally have never felt like that because I actually feel like a disruptor. I feel like maybe DJs have felt like that about me.
Mm.
Um, because the software allows you to instantly learn things that took people 5, 10 years to be able to get down. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But that's technology. Technology is getting better. There's some 13-year-olds out there that can probably do what I do in 10 minutes. That might take me an hour. You know what I'm saying? That's just life. I can't have, I don't have a problem with that. That's actually one of the things that I don't like is when people are trying to hold other people back, trying to hold their space. I'm a firm believer, like there is a lane for everybody. Like do your thing. You don't have to worry about what other people are doing. You do your thing, and the right people, like I said before, the right people will find you. Do I think it's oversaturated? That's hard to say, because I feel like the world is bigger. And I don't mean there are more people. There's just more access. There's more communication. So it's like, maybe 15 years ago, let me pick a random country in Africa. Like maybe there wasn't a whole lot of internet access in Rwanda 15 years ago, but there is now. So who's to say it shouldn't be, 50 DJs in Rwanda that weren't there before? I mean, you got a whole new scene, you got a whole new environment. So I don't think it's oversaturated. I think people who feel like it's oversaturated need to find new ways to reinvent themselves, or find new fans and find new ways to find new fans. So no, I don't think it's oversaturated.
That's a very good point. Can you permit me to have a kind of a very straightforward ideology on it?
Please, let me hear it.
My thought process on it is like, at the end of the day, it's like, look, if confidence comes from your ability to perform, right? So if you look at it from a perspective of a physical type of situation, and sorry for the viewers, but it's like, if you're gonna put your junk on the table, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna worry about what this person's junk gonna do, because my junk is on the table. Like at the end of the day, it's glorious. Look at it. You know what I mean? Now again, not can you need to confirm or deny. That's not anything. But, it is one of those things as to where it's like, you at the end of the day, put your junk on the table. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I mean? This is my junk in its splendor. Check it. And
then go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please, go ahead.
So it's like, if you don't have that kind of confidence, you're gonna weed yourself out. Exactly. That's fine.
That's the point.
If you don't have no creativity, if you can't stand out in your own way, you're gonna burn yourself out and quit anyway. You're probably doing it for the wrong reasons anyway. So confidence is definitely a big thing, and I'm about like doing you. Like what I hate is to see people copy exactly what someone else is doing, because that's inauthentic to me. It's like, who are you? Like God made you. So like, what's your spin on it? It's nothing wrong with borrowing influences, you know what I'm saying? But people who like carbon copies of somebody, or I've seen like DJ Cruz, it's like y'all all do the exact same thing. It's like I can't tell any differentiation between the way any of y'all DJ. That's lame to me. But that's, I don't like to deal on the negative. It's not that many people out there. I just want to encourage the creativity of those people. Like, find your own way to do it, and then do that.
It's an old thing. It's an old thing that it's like back, and I think we around the same age, so it's dare to be different. And that's the one thing about you, is that you're a different person. You lead by your nose, bro. Like you just walk, and we just gonna do this. This is what we gonna do. And you gotta appreciate people like that. You are the epitome of what influencers are. You know what I mean? So I respect that.
One thing that my I used to laugh at this years ago, but it's really true. I feel like my parents programmed me in a way where it was like, you have a brain, and there is nothing that your brain can't come up with. There's nothing that your brain cannot come up with. So it's like, if I can think about it, my brain is a computer. Like if all I got to do is like figure it out. There obviously are people who are more talented that can sing better than I can, that can play the piano better than I can, or they can DJ better than I can, or produce better than I can, but you can't do it like I can. And what I produce, I love it. And then there are also people that like it too. So I don't feel that competition, because I feel like everybody has a lane. I hope I'm not repeating myself, but I really do believe that. I really do believe that everybody has a lane.
No, and I understand that, and my parents kind of put it in a different way, where it was like, life is like the hamburger business. If everybody sat and waited for the hamburgers to come out, then it's like, oh well, we got to stop at McDonald's. You know what I mean? There is no you know, Burger King. There is no uh,
Carl's
Fuddruckers like
Carl's Jr.
Because it's like, oh well, it's already done. So guess what? So what? No, I
Mhm.
mean, at the end of the day, we make hamburgers, bro. Like at the end of the day, my hamburger is better than yours, and we gonna figure it out and make it so. So again, that I think we're saying the same thing, and I
Yes,
appreciate
sir. Yes, sir.
your I appreciate your difference. Like you just I'm different, and you wear it, and that's that. And I love that, and we gotta celebrate that. You gotta give people their flowers when they like that, brother. You
I
know,
appreciate that, man. That's not the first time I've heard that. I've definitely heard that I'm in my own, stratosphere. I feel like I'm down to earth, but I ain't gonna get like all astrological on you, but I am like true to the game Sagittarius. Like my mind is all over the place. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn it all. Straight up,
baby, get out of here.
straight up. Okay. So it's
December
like,
19th, brother. December
okay,
19th.
I'm December 7th, man. Okay, so that's what okay.
Okay,
Okay, so we
you
understand each other right now. Okay. All right. Good deal.
we got friends for life now.
Yes,
We friends
sir.
for life now.
Yes, sir. And we Hamptonians. Come on. We about to
Yeah,
make some magic.
yeah. They don't even know. So now, but I appreciate your commentary. Everything that you say is 1,000, brother. Like you keeping it a buck, and I appreciate that. Let's get to you though. Again, like seriously, what you doing right now? What are your current projects? What are you currently working on? Let them know.
Okay, guys. Tune in. May 7th. That's like 2 weeks from tomorrow. Um, I'm putting out a house music album. It's straight house. What is house music? House music is like, this is for people who don't know who house music is. Think of CC Peniston, or think of
Yeah.
like Crystal Waters, or um, the 90s, like dancing, like what people played to dance to in the 90s. To me, is house music. Frankie Knuckles, Larry Levan, those are like
Mhm.
DJs from like, New York and Chicago, like underground scene. But like house music is straight up dance music. So this is a departure from the kind of albums that I put out in the past. Usually my albums are very it's like a variety. It's like each song sounds different from the next one. This is a work. 45 minutes straight up house music. Could be workout music for everybody to get the pandemic pounds off. It could be, a de-stress music. It's definitely music that's gonna make you move. It's music with a good vibe. It's music with a good message and positivity. It's perfect. So the album's name is Dawn. I chose the name Dawn because I feel like now we are trying to finally see the light at the end of the tunnel from, all of the quarantine and the pandemic and just being shut in. And it's like we can maybe start to see like daylight coming, right? And we got all this pent up energy from not being able to do all the things that we want to do. And this
Yeah.
album is here for you to like let all of that energy out. So it's going to be available on all streaming platforms. If that's for you, Spotify, if it's Apple Music, if it's Tidal, even though Jay-Z sold Tidal, I don't know how I feel about that. It is going to be on all of the platforms, right? And that's not the only thing that I'm doing right now. I'm also the resident DJ. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's AJ Brown, another Hamptonian, a QT4 Hamptonian.
It's in the
um,
building, man.
yes. It's what the world needs now. Like we need something fun. We need something uplifting right now.
Right.
All of the white supremacist delusion we dealing with right now, the anti-black racism, like just the violence in the world, like we need an escape. This album is going to do that for you. But the other thing that I'm working on right now is I'm a DJ for this amazing black-owned company that Dr. Danielle came up with. It's called Black Trivia Night. So basically, we do virtual events. We started during the pandemic when people couldn't leave the house. But basically, we've done everything from like, run of the mill birthdays, graduations, but we've done corporate events as well. I mean, we work for Google and Deloitte and Samsung and some others. It's a fun time for an hour and a half. I have found my niche. DJing online Can't nobody beat me. I have heard people say, "Yo, your sound is better than the sound at Versus. Why they can't get you to pick up the sound?" Because I'm a producer, so I know what it wants to sound like. But that's my creative outlet right now. Of course I'll be DJing in the club again at some point. So the album is coming out in 2 weeks. I like for you all to support Black Trivia Night because you can host your own. So let's say you have some kind of celebration you want to do. You hit up Danielle. We talk about the specifics. We host your party. Everybody has a good time. We have not had a party where somebody at the party has not wanted to have their own. That's how much fun it is. Okay. So I got those two things going on. I'm also working with other artists out there working with their music. So there's a brilliant, brilliant girl. Her name is Tina McDowell. She's also a Hamptonian. Um,
Come on,
she's coming out with the new album real soon. Like, there's no box you can put her in. Like Tina, so you can think of like Macy Gray, but then like 20 times more wild. So the way her mind thinks is crazy. So we have a couple of songs together that are gonna be coming out on her new album. And there's a couple other artists I don't want to mention just yet, but I'm all about producing. I'm about getting myself out there to create more opportunities for myself and then also the people that I'm working with, So like if you are an artist out there, you are starting from zero, you've got a couple projects out there and you want a dance, feel good, upbeat remix type of song, I'm your guy. I'm creative. I'm easy to work with. And I'm on the upward trend, so like you want to get with me right now before it costs you too much, okay?
I love that. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. Okay. So Under the Moonlight,
yeah, yes,
talk
sir.
about
Yes,
that. That's going on the Dawn album.
yeah. Don't yeah. That is like so. Every album has kind of like a zenith point, like a momentum. So I put that out as the lead single because that comes right after the zenith moment in the album. Under the Moonlight is basically a feel. And you know about this because you're from DC, so I know you used to party at some point. You've been partying all night. You look out, it's like, is that daybreak? Like, is that the sun coming up? Like, we've been partying that long. It's like a good time that you don't want to end. That's what that song is. Okay, so that is like classic house. It takes you back to like maybe 89, 90, 91. I try to do some unique things with the reverb and the echoes to try to make it sound updated. But that's a straight up house song. It's simple lyrics. The crazy thing about Under the Moonlight is, to me, it's the simplest non-musical song on the album. So if the people are liking that, I feel like you're gonna like the whole album because it's like just like the tip of the iceberg. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just to talk about it, as far as I put out a lyric video, I also did a couple other things on YouTube, and I've put it out in all my social media, and for some reason it's taken off in certain places, non-English speaking places. Like, how do I have 100 Shazams in Spain? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are these people in Italy? How have they heard it? I don't know. Apparently some DJs are playing it because you have to play a song, song has to be heard for you to Shazam it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's doing big things. It's creating some momentum for the album, which I really like. It's a 5-minute song. People have very short attention span right now. So in the club, 5 minutes goes by fast. Maybe in your car, it might seem like a long song, but if you're in the party mood, it's definitely going to lift you up. And I think it's a concept that most people can identify with. Party people that go
Right.
out and have had a good time. Even if you like past that prime, you remember a time when you've been partying outside, even if it's just in the hood with your people, you know what I'm saying, and you look up, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, the sun is coming. It's like, wow, we've been out here all night. Like, I don't want this to end. I'm having a good time. So that's
Right.
what Under the Moonlight is. And I'm glad that people are receiving it in a great way. I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but I'm happy about it.
Good. They should.
Yeah,
Obviously I've heard it. So I mean, you know what I mean.
that's
It's
what's up.
it's a vibe, as they say.
Okay.
It's a vibe.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Uh-huh.
mean, definitely people need to stay tuned. So what we about to do is we about to play
Okay.
a song. And
Okay.
listen, guys, if you man, please comment in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? If his moves hit you, comment. He need to get his flowers while he's still here. Check this out, okay?
I'll take that.
So no doubt, like I said, this is the song that we about to do, Under the Moonlight. Check this out.
All right.
All right.
song makes me want to be out there and party.
Listen, vibes. That's all I can say about that, bro. Vibes. You
Thank
know
you,
what I'm saying?
thank you.
Like,
Y'all recognize this couch? Same couch. I did that in my living room. Straight up. Remember when recession happened and
yeah,
everybody's videos went from being like $1 million videos to like low budget $50, $50,000. Hey, what's up? Yes, sir, AJ. Um, I feel like the pandemic showed me like you can get your music out there any kind of way you want to, man. I filmed that right in my yes, sir. I filmed that right in my living room and I'll do it again. Hopefully I get a chance to do it in the club because that song is gonna go with a crowd. So
facts. No, listen,
yeah.
it had all of it checked off all of the boxes, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
I ain't gonna lie, I had to re-up my situation, but I was like the whole time, I was like, bro, I'm at the refrigerator. If you could think with the refrigerator, be dancing with it, bro. I was like, yeah, under
Yes,
the
sir.
moonlight. I'll be driving
Hey.
tomorrow with it.
It's catchy. Oh, let me tell you something. Self props. So Under the Moonlight is a hit with the kids. I got a bunch of friends that have, children between the ages of like, 7 and like 13. They're like, my kids are like begging to hear Under the Moonlight in the car on the way to, on the way places. And I'm like, oh, that's a good sign. Because if the
That's what
kids
you
like
do.
it, listen, I'll take it. If it's catchy enough that the kids like it, I think I got something there. So I appreciate that love there.
Entrepreneurship 101. The kids love it. That means in 10 to 15 years and 20 years, they're gonna be talking about it. I'm just saying.
Dividends.
So look, our kids listen to it.
See there, see there, see there. That's what's
Under
up.
the moonlight.
Hey,
Vacuum. I
hey.
love it.
Can I be Saturday morning music since we can't listen to Anita Baker right now? Y'all listen to Under the Moonlight when y'all clean your house, okay?
Stop it. Now I grew up on Nita Baker in the house on every Saturday. Now I feel where you're coming from with that, and it's like
She's
non-existent now.
No, so Anita Baker asked everybody not to stream her music until they get her master. So I'm following her directions.
I did not know
So
that.
Anita Baker said, "Do not stream my music until I tell y'all to stream my music again." And I'm following the directions of the legend. I saw her live in New York a couple years ago, and that lady sounds just like she did in the '80s. Great live, performed for 2 hours, just amazing. So that's Saturday morning cleanup music. So I'm trying to be the next generation of that if I can.
I don't blame you. I need to. I'm doing everything I can to get Anita Baker on the beat. But
Hey,
I'm
that would
claiming
be
that
live.
her and Patti LaBelle got to be on the beat. So we need a petition, make that happen. But in the interim,
That's right.
Under the Moonlight,
Yes, sir.
that part.
Yes.
So with that being said, brother, and with all of the fun and everything out of the way, I got to tell you, we are entering into my favorite part of the interview, which is called
Okay.
Hot Topics. So I'm telling you,
Okay.
season 3, we wrapping season 3 in about a couple more episodes, but season 4 coming back. I'm gonna have an intro, everything, because this is my favorite part.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. Okay.
these are the questions that people gonna remember. They're gonna be like, "Yo, like, you know, what I'm saying, what happened to Hot Topics?" You know.
That's what's up.
So Hot Topics, if you don't know, for people that don't watch the beat, Hot Topics are a series of questions, random questions that are designed for the viewers to get the understanding of who I'm interviewing through random-based questioning. So, with that being said, we're gonna shotgun these off like this here.
Okay.
First one, 3 things you didn't know. Notice I did a hashtag, so you can hashtag this, right?
Three
What's
things
three,
you didn't know.
three things that the world does not know about DJ Fatha Julz, or 3 things that you need to clarify because you know the streets be talking and you like whatever y'all talking, I ain't hearing it and I ain't buying it. What's your thought?
Ooh. You know what? I have a pretty tight knit circle that I believe that shoots down the bad rumors for me. So I don't even have nothing I need to clear up. But 3 things that you need to know about me, or that you didn't know about me. One, I love classical music. I will go to a symphony. I cannot wait for the symphony to open back up. I'm all about like groups of things. So like an orchestra, that all just kind of like
Love that.
energy. It's an energy that I just the last symphony I went to was at the Kennedy Center. Kennedy Center is a great place to listen to classical music. Right now in this time period, this is a little weird. I'm a little bit conflicted because I love classical music, but I also realized that most of the composers were racist. So I'm having this art versus the artist inner dialogue, but I still love it. That's one. I am single with no kids.
That's
Everyone take that as you will. I am single and ready to mingle for those who are watching. And the third thing you need to know that you didn't know is that even though I like to party, even though I like to party, and even though I'm out there like that, I actually am a little bit of an introvert sometimes. I need my alone time. I need an hour or two away from the group. So like I'm in your face. If I get to the party, me and Ayana and Camille will be the last people on the dance floor. And then I might not want to talk to nobody the next day. So that's, I got a little balance with my extrovert introvert side. Cool.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm with it. And you nailed three good ones, man.
Okay.
And with the last one, you got to look at it from this perspective. Planes got to fly, but they got to refuel too.
That's it. And the way I go, I got to refill. I got to refuel because I leave it all on the dance floor.
You went to Hampton, so I get
it.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
And for clarity, I was there in the last days of the Union.
Okay. So you party in the multi-purpose room with the sawdust on the floor.
Sweatbox days.
Is that? Oh my God, man. Okay, tell me this. I know this is off subject because when I got to Hampton, the Michigan pre-alumni people used to tell me that they used to have a party where the Michigan pre-alumni and the Florida pre-alumni would get together and they would call it "Shaking from the Top to the Bottom." Now we missed out on that. I'm so mad. But were you there? Were you there for that time period? Oh my God. I totally wish I could have been at one of those parties because that's like I said, bass music. That's like my home, the music. Oh, Biz said yes. Okay.
Let me tell you something. I have never been to a party before or after like the Union parties. Union jams were, I'm talking about condensation on the walls, bro.
Like coming out, like when you walk outside, like you can see the smoke, the mist coming off of your body, and everybody is drenched and nobody cares. Like that's a good party.
Yeah, and I got to tell you too. Like before I went to Hampton, I can't recall me saying that, knowing that I can dance. Freshman year at Hampton, I was like, I was on a dance committee for the Forest. Shut up.
Oh, shout out to the Forest. Hey. Shout out to HBCUs and HBCU bands keeping the culture alive, man.
But the Forest was the best. So let's stop that. The Forest was the best. We always the best. So there's that. You know what I mean? But neither here nor there. But no, yeah, Union jams, crazy.
Good
crazy.
Times.
I like they made a movie about it, like House Party. Like it was, bro. Next level. Next question. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel bad. I mean, like the student center is nice, right? The student center is beautiful. I have partied in that ballroom. It has been fun. I was at the very first day party for homecoming back in 2013, which is epic, right? Okay. But there's no feeling like that sweat on the wall in the multi-purpose room with them lights off. It's like that's unreproducible. I kind of hate that the kid, the younger generation missed out on that. But times change, so that's what's
up. It's a multi-purpose room.
and a lot of things happen in that room.
I'm trying to tell you, when I literally went to the Union for the first time, I was like, this is like a different world. No pun intended. Like literally, it's like a different world. People was playing pool in the middle of the day. Like, what's happening? But then you go next door, you get a grilled cheese sandwich. But then later that night,
you can go to a grill jail.
It's Uncle Luke in there, bro. Like, bro.
Yeah. Good times.
Like, what?
Good times.
This is HBCU life, brother. Like, wow. Okay. I love my life. But, that's neither here nor there. My playlist popping. What's on your audio playlist, brother? Like, what do you listen to? What do you getting your music from?
So I let YouTube and Spotify guide me, right?
Mm.
I and the charts and requests, DJ requests. So people usually have sometimes some really wild requests, and I listen to music and like, oh, that's fat. But I am really in R&B right now, especially what they call this highline R&B. So
Oh,
like Victoria Monet and like Snow Allegra, and I also love DVSN. I don't know how to say that right. Is it DVSN Division? That like slow, um, kind of like it reminds me of like Jodeci, that kind of R&B. Um, I also like, like the kind of like weird stuff, I'm not so much into like the rap game now. I love listening to old rap. I actually am a crate digger. Like, let me find something from the 80s that I don't remember when I was
yeah,
coming up or I was too young to remember.
right.
So I'm all about finding old stuff too. But as far as new artists, oh, keep it real. I love everything that Ariana Grande does. Really feel like she is the it girl right now. I also love Doja Cat. I like the feel of this female rap thing because we ain't never seen this before. We've never seen this like it's just a garden of ladies that rap now, which is really nice to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't have a favorite, but shout out to the City Girls and to Megan and Doja and Saweetie. Like I feel like they're all Flo Millie. I feel like they're all killing it. As a DJ, we have to kind of stay on top. Yes, exactly. Another another Ariana Grande stand out there. As a DJ, of course, we have to kind of stay on top of what's new, and I'll play whatever people want to hear. But I only replay things that I like. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. That's fair, and I appreciate that. And that's dope. Now, visual playlist. Netflix, what are you watching right now? Like, what's caught your eye? Are you one of these Bridgerton people? Are you watching old what's the name, Grey's Anatomy? It doesn't have to be Netflix. It could be anything right now. But what's worth your time of talking about?
Okay. So the most recent thing I just completed was WandaVision, and that was just amazing
Fire,
television. Man, that
fire.
was amazing television. I love period pieces. I think that's actually one of my specialties as a music producer. I think I am good at finding an era of a sound and being able to do that. So to see that visually,
Mhm.
from episode to episode, even with the
And
music, the
yeah,
styling, the hair, like that's just I'm already kind of like I'm not a cartoon head like for real, but I love everything Marvel Universe. So to have some context, I knew the people. I did not know the twist at the end was coming. Man, that was some great television. I will watch that again. So WandaVision. Also watch this random ass show on TNT called Snowpiercer. I don't know if you heard
yeah.
about that.
I seen the
Okay.
movie.
Okay.
Chris
So
Evans is
so
the lead.
yeah, yes. So now they're like on like season two, which is a lot different than season one, but the concept is wild. So that's pretty much it. Honestly, a lot of the things that I'm watching are science based stuff. So like if there's any nerds out there that watch Eons, PBS Eons on YouTube, like that's the kind of thing that I'm when I'm not producing or I'm not doing the other things I need to be doing.
Right.
I'm looking at scientific stuff. So I like archaeology. We keep finding new stuff in Egypt. The world keeps proving over and over again that Egyptians were black Africans from sub-Saharan Africa, and I'm loving it. It's just killing this white supremacist delusion over and over again with DNA and facts. So I'm into science. That's what I'm watching. But
Right.
mindless television, WandaVision, man, great stuff.
Yeah, WandaVision. Shout out to the Marvel team. They again reinvented themselves. And I've been a fan of Marvel since I don't know '82. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So I go back, bro.
So
So
let me
like,
ask you this. Can I ask you this? Did you see that twist coming? Did
yeah.
you oh,
well,
okay. So
well,
you
well, here's the thing. I look. They take a lot of liberties.
okay.
And so I understand in duality the actual storyline,
Hmm.
having being a nerd and reading comic books
Hmm.
to what they're doing on screen. and sing it overlay and say, okay, we need to narrow it so that people today can understand where we want to go with it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because the question was, okay, at the Vision died, it was like, okay, well, how do we get the West Coast Vision, which is the all white one?
Uh-huh.
And like,
Uh-huh.
well, how do we get there? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then when it was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. You know what I
Okay.
mean? They were building it. And then there was like the whole thing with her in the cabin. And then it was like, oh, okay, okay. Then now the multiverse of madness. Okay. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff lined up
Okay.
for me. But again, I'm a nerd when it comes to that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
That's what's
I
up.
know I got backstories. I can tell you that Tony Stark isn't dead. I can tell you, like it's a whole bunch of other, like I can tell you a whole bunch of other stuff. But it
Okay.
depends on how they put the,
Weave the
put the
stories
word
together.
exactly.
All
You know what
right.
I mean? So yeah. But I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I love Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think it's
So I
amazing.
haven't watched that yet. So you highly recommend that. I need to get into that one too.
Well, only thing I'm gonna say is that they spun a very realistic story in today's time with
Okay.
it, with them. I mean, it
Okay.
makes you really capitalize and understand what it's like to hold the shield.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. The people that write that are they have the finger on the pulse of people. And that's
Yeah.
what makes the Marvel movies so good because they understand people. People have
Mm-hmm.
a relevance and an understanding of how, okay, well, this works this way, this works that way. Well, they wouldn't like this, they wouldn't like this, but they would love this because this is how people would do it in today's time. Whereas in DC, it's like, well, this is Batman, well, this is Superman, and it's like,
uh,
well, this is the story we're telling you, and we don't care about that story because you're not making it relatable.
I
You
got
know
you.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
it's all about Marvel right now.
yeah, well, that part. So, but again, thank you for sharing with the hot topics. You made it through. Normally, this is a little bit extensive, but at the end of the day, I wanted to keep it a little bit truncated because I wanted to specify the iris and the lens on your talents and your accolades and the things you've done. But we also want to see what you think about current events because again,
Okay.
that's the meat and potatoes. You are who you are, but we want to know what you think about these issues that's going on. So, with that
Okay.
being said, let me ask you, what have you discovered about the entertainment business that you don't like?
So, I don't know if you know this, but I used to live in Los Angeles for a while,
I didn't know that.
and I used to DJ on Melrose at this club called a Bungalow Club,
I
and
never heard of this.
so one of the things that I did not like, and this is the music, this is the entertainment business. This is a section of the entertainment business, because it's business, right? As a DJ, I could have the dance floor rocking all night, but I was judged on how much money the bar made. Okay. Now, if my dancing crowd are not the alcoholics, that's not my fault. I don't understand why it was evaluated on, like, it was a good night if the bar made this amount of money and then like that was put on me. So I didn't like that I don't know, false equivalency.
Mhm.
Um Music business in general, I don't like that now artists are not developed on purpose, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so there was a lot of A&R that went into artist development in the times past, like how do you speak on the interview, or you know
Of course.
what you should say, what you should focus on, how to redirect questions with an interviewer, um, learning how to eat at a fancy restaurant because some people coming from places where they don't know how to do that. Just like the polishing, like when I speaking of Motown, like it's not a lot of polishing that goes on. What they are looking for is for you to already have developed your own fan base, and now we're going to give you a bunch of money that's going to be hard for you to pay back. So now we basically can tell you everything that you're going to do for the next certain amount of years, right?
Right.
And I feel like because a lot of people, we come up in a generation that are young and seek fame over money, power, and influence. It's just snatching people up and snatching people's dreams. I do not think that 360 contracts are good for artists. I think people should do all they can to stay out of them, or try to figure out ways not to spend so much money so you don't end up on the label so much that it's hard to regain. I can't even imagine the stress that people are going through right now, not being able to tour for an entire year, if that was your thing, right? Because we know artists are not making money from streams and like that. Most of the money that's being made by artists now is either merch or touring, which usually merch goes with touring. So if you can't tour, how are you making your money back? That total that you now owe the record label is just going up because they've been supporting you for the last year and a half. So that whole dynamic of not polishing, not worrying about the artists and their long-term financial future, it really feels like, can I say this? It really kind of feels predatory. And I feel like with the internet now, I feel like we are on our way where it doesn't have to be that way. If people can get capital outside of these stringent contracts, I think that would be better. What I think is great about the entertainment business is it's like, shoot, in the pandemic, that's all we had. Like, the entertainment business is what kept us entertained. So it has its pluses. You know what I'm saying? There are great things about the industry, the way that they can get behind artists, the way they can push certain things. But I think that there needs to be more care on an individual level. And I hate to see people getting strung along. I know people who are in like contracts with people, and then like they get pushed to the bottom of the barrel, or they put a project out and it's not pushed, but you're like still in the contract and you can't really get out of it. So I don't like the fact that like there's still predatory contracts. I don't feel like there should be any more unsungs. Like, we've seen it, right? We know the story. We know the story. We know I should have read the contract. No, read the contract. Don't do crack. Then you don't be on unsung. But like most people don't do that. You get to LA, you do the LA thing, you get caught up, and now you're like, nights like this, I wish the raindrops would fall. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. I feel like it's 2021. Like, the story has been told. So if we could eliminate the predatoriness in the entertainment industry, I think we would be in a much better place. Like, let it be about art. Pick and choose and find new people. And I think that we're actually heading in a better direction as far as the representation. Like, as far as like the kind of, I can say this, the kind of variety of women that we are seeing being put out, like as in shapes and diversity in colors. Like, we're moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Very slowly, but things are starting to change as far as inclusivity and seeing people with disabilities represented. So I think we're making slow changes. I just would like those changes to go faster. You know what I'm saying? And it's time. As time goes on, hopefully we see progression.
And I appreciate that. And I understand and agree with everything that you said. I do not disagree with not every single one of them. And with regard to being in the industry, though, the only thing that I would say the caveat would be is that we're a time as to where we can pull our own selves up out of the ashes to become whatever we decide we want to be. But you have to know what you want to be and know how to get there. There is no roadmap, and I think that's the thing.
That's tight.
Yeah,
There is no roadmap.
yeah, I know it's not. At the end of the day, the best you could do is draw from people that's come before you. But in the grand scheme of things, is how do you get to that is the key. And I think that's the thing. And like I said, when I left Hampton, I didn't
shout out to Brandon. Sorry, that's my boy Brandon, who's serving our country. Thank you for your service, Brandon. You know what I'm saying? Like, we cannot be free and have our freedoms without people like him. Shout out to him. Brandon, 1997, put me onto Baltimore club music. First time I had heard that. First time I heard that.
That's a whole nother vibe. That's a whole nother vibe. DJ K Swift and bro, that's a whole nother vibe. We're not gonna do that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We're gonna bring you back. We're gonna bring you to talk about the difference in the clubs. We got to. But no. Shout out to Brandon. Thank you for serving the country. Brandon, if you are not familiar, check out Military Fresh Network. That's all I'm gonna say to you. And keep it moving. I do agree with everything that you say, and like I said, all I'm saying is that you have to know what you want in order to get what you want, and I think that's the thing. Like you said, people come to LA, and I've seen what it looks like when people crash landed and like face. I drive by it every day. The reality of it is that you have to kind of know what you want and really study the business of it. If you don't have business acumen, then you might not want to. This is not the game for you. You know what I mean? And I go ahead, please.
Or surround yourself with people who you really do love and trust that do have the business acumen, right? Because you can't do it alone if you don't have the knowledge base.
I can't argue with you on that.
Yeah,
I agree. I
yeah,
agree. But again, you have to have some sort of acumen in order to know to get surrounded yourself with people that know what you don't know.
that's
So
true.
there's that.
Yeah.
Black in America, in light of everything that's going on, what does that mean to you today?
Okay. So as soon as you said that, there are three people that jumped in my mind. Um, James Baldwin,
Mm,
Nina Simone, Toni
mm,
Morrison, right? Okay.
mm,
So obviously we are not living in the civil rights movement, right?
of course.
Um,
Depending on what
but
lens you matter for.
well, I want to say, but a lot of the social problems really have not changed. Their methodologies have changed, but we still facing basically the effects of white supremacist delusion.
Mhm.
And what the problem is for them who would like to continue the status quo is now we are connected in a way we had never been connected before. Because with the internet and the access to information, we are able to galvanize and collectively change things. I believe the most educated person in America now is a black woman. Like we actually have degrees and means to make change, right? So as every day is still jacked up and still every day we see atrocities, we have the knowledge, and I think soon we will have the capital to change things. So I'm an optimist. I'm sure you are too, being a Sagittarius. So I'm like looking at the future, like we have to be, we have to be on the right road, right? Now this is the nasty part. When in history there ever been really a big social change without war?
That part.
Maybe it's possible. Hopefully it's possible. I don't want to see any bloodshed, but usually people in power don't give their power up easily. So I think hopefully with new knowledge, with the support of people globally, because oppressed people globally are now also connected, we
Right.
can think of new ways to treat humans right. I'm appreciative to all of the people from the other tribes that are becoming aware of all of the microaggressions and macroaggressions that people of color have to face. I
Yes.
think that number is rising.
Mhm.
Um, so I think I choose to believe that everything, you know how it's like they say it gets worse before it gets better. I feel like we have got to be on this side of the pendulum. Like, and then it's got to swing the other way. Like
It will always swing
y'all
the other way.
cannot kill nobody else.
It always swings the other way.
Yes, you don't like the word abolish the police. Understood. But we definitely have to reimagine what is policing, right? Should police be handling mental illness emergencies? No, that's a medical issue.
Yeah, but how do you do that? How do you triage that in a moment?
And there are people that have degrees. I do not. There are people who are thinking about that and reimagining that right now. And no, it's not going to be an instant process, but it is possible because all of the other countries, developed countries, do not have the problems that we do. So it is absolutely possible that we can get past it.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Please finish.
Oh no, I'm done. I'm done. I believe we can get past it. What we live in a world that seems um like we cannot get ahead, but people, I mean, like we also are living very free now. Like I feel like more of us are more free now than were in the past.
Right.
Um and so I just choose to look at the positive future ahead. I believe in justice and I also believe in accountability. We're not gonna have accountability until people start treating everyone the same. So hopefully we're on that trend.
And I can understand that. I definitely appreciate that. And everything that you're saying is not lost on me. Please believe, brother. I get it. You know what I mean? And we are all entitled to our own thoughts and processes with everything that's going on. You know what I mean? And I choose not to challenge you on anything that you said. I mean, and I mean, not like it's easy, it's light work. Oh, because of everything you said was like pompous and arrogant. No, I mean, at the end of the day, we have differences of opinion, but you know, at the end of the day, I agree with what you're saying. So why? Go ahead, please.
So one of the things that I think that I loved about living in LA is, to me, LA is kind of a little bit of a dream world in a sense, where it's magic. The magic is palpable, right? So I always feel like politically things feel different in LA because the makeup of LA feels like another country. Like California feels like another country in comparison to the East Coast, right?
You, you
Y'all,
have to you have to specify the Southern Cal though.
Southern Cal.
Because if you,
True.
I mean, because if you go to like North Cal, they not on that. They like
You
that's what
you
Sacramento's like an hour this way. We not no.
you're
So
right.
different. Yeah,
SoCal is different. Yeah, you're right. Um, I think that living on the East Coast and living on the West Coast are so different. I can't believe we're all the same country. It's so different, right?
it's not even
The
this.
experience is completely different. And if you haven't lived on both coasts, it's really hard to put into words, but you have. So, and I have too. It's like it's really two different
That's
places.
why this is an electric conversation for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think that oh, so this is random, but how do you feel about California breaking up?
I think it's a chunk of shit. That's what I think. It's
Okay,
not.
never gonna happen.
They're not gonna let it happen. It's not. They're
Okay,
not gonna let it happen. Like when they gonna break it off at Barstow? Like no. Like
at Bakersville.
you know what I'm saying? Like Fresno. Like no. They
Uh-huh.
gonna be like we California too. What you talking about? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like no.
yeah.
So that's a chunk of shit. That's people spinning false wheels. You
Okay,
know, California is California. California is California, and it's always gonna be united regardless. And then that's that.
that's what's up.
You
That's
know.
what's up. I don't know why
But,
I brought that up, but I thought the because California, like you said, is so diverse and so big. It's kind of like Texas, right? Texas is huge, right? But like all of Texas do not operate the same way.
no,
It's just
because
like, go
it's
ahead.
different ideology.
Right.
It's you know what I mean, but whereas in California, it's like they get it. Everybody, north, south, they get it. This is California. This is what we do. Everybody else, we don't care. We're our own United States, bro. Like California's like no,
Yeah.
you
Which
know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
is valuable. Um,
To an
y'all's
extent,
y'all's perspective on things can be a nice perspective in comparison to an East Coast perspective. So I like diversity in America. I think we're stronger together. Like Hillary Clinton said, we're stronger together.
I agree. I agree. And again, you know, I don't want to get too heavy into it. At the end of the day, like I said, we're here to celebrate you. I just feel at the end of the day, when we start talking social issues and stuff like that, it's up in the air depending upon the acts of the people that are associated
Mm,
in the regions. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm.
We can't, you know, DC can't speak if they are doing DC shit. You know what I mean? New York can't speak if New York is doing New York shit. You know what I mean? Like you can't say, oh, we part of the solution where you're part of the problem and everything that you're putting on the map is part of the problem. You know what I mean? So again, to me, again, and these are all my opinions. So I apologize, but that's just the reality of it to me. But when we talking about Black in America and what that means, at the end of the day, I agree with everything that you said going for, you know, in previous. And and yes, there are a lot of liberties that are made. You know what I mean? Or at least on this side on this side of the map, and it's awesome. But what we got to be beware of bubbles. And I think the bubble that's the thing is like when you start talking about stuff like and I hate to bring it up, but like BLM is like, okay, that was cute, but in the grand schemes, what did it solve? Because all it did was perpetuate more LMs, ALM, White Lives Matter, all of these other ALM, like all these other LMs, and it's like that's great, but what did you solve? But yet you perpetuate other people to feel like they could stand up to say we have a honest case about what it is we talking about.
Yeah.
And we still left unserved. Again, and I said this in a previous episode, and that was my whole thing with BLM was that it's like, okay, it's great when we talk of Black Lives Matter, and I love the response that we put together coming from that, but instead of looking at it from a marketing perspective, look at it from a serving perspective. What are we serving? Because it's like, what does this stand for? What are we asking for? Because we need to check boxes.
So can I tell you, it speaks to actually a bigger issue. We are leaderless in a way, and I don't think that we need a leader like in the civil rights movement. Like, there were like civil rights leaders, so then like everybody kind of like coalesced underneath them. There's a lot of different ways to think about the future, right? And so I think because there are a lot of different ways to think about progressing forward. There's not just going to be one way. Black people are diverse people. We come from now different socioeconomic statuses. We come from different. There are people who are what, fourth and fifth generation Hamptonians, sixth generation, like college educated, land owning, maybe are presenting to the world differently than somebody's that's 5, 6 generation on government assistance, right? Your perspective on life and the things that you are facing, right? So it's not going to be one way forward, but I will say that it does not take us to be united. It takes white people to stop being racist towards everyone else, and that's their problem. And all we got to do is keep living and being joyous and dancing and having a good time and trying to get as much knowledge and capital as we can to move forward.
That's fair, and that's a very understandable perspective. The only thing I will say about that is that this, and again, not to challenge you, because this is not a challenge. Okay,
I'm take it that way.
The only thing I say is this, and I said this in previous episodes. My thought process is that the only way to, in order, you go to, let's say for instance that you get injured. So DJ Fatha Julz gets injured. He goes to the hospital with a broken, like you severely hurt your leg. You're not gonna go to the hospital and be like, yo, my neck hurts.
True.
Because what you do when you go to the hospital and say your neck hurts, they're not going to even look at your leg. They go look at your neck. Right? You get where I'm going, right? So what I'm saying is that when we talk about issues, we got to talk about triage, and we got to be up front exactly what the issue is, and be able to effectively communicate what the problem is. Now, saying all that to say, transfer what I just said, the inference, what I just said, to the perspective of corporations, because you're intelligent, you're smart. You understand branding, CEO, marketability, or the whole nine. Name a company in America that does not have an ethics department. But yet we have a federal government that does not have an ethics department that's built for the people to govern people's rights, regardless of the skin color. Why is that? That part.
Yeah. So we got a ways to go, right?
Well, it's not necessarily a ways to go if you really think about it. If we like, you see how I just kind of shortcutted and went straight to the point. It's like, holy shit, we're like, why hasn't that been asked for? So when we're talking about, we don't have the appropriate leadership, I look at it from a perspective of who's opening their mouths, who's triaging what. A great nurse will walk in and be like, oh no, that's a temporal femoral. I'm not a doctor. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, no. At the end of the day, check that. Right.
Right.
So with that being said, if you're going to triage, that's what you triage, right? So my thing is, I'm sorry, I got to say all that to say is that I'm going through some stuff with my technical stuff, but
Okay.
that's the meat and potatoes of everything that I'm saying, right?
I hear you. I hear you. And what I'm gonna add the layer to your analogy is that nurse is gonna be working on a team, right? That nurse is not working individually. She is working with medical assistants, she is working with doctors, she is working with specialists, right? Who are all gonna be looking at the issue from different angles. So all I'm saying is like there's not one way to skin a cat. Yes, we do need to get to some agreement on what the issues is and how to tackle it. I just don't think that there's always one solution. I think that there could be many solutions, and I like to think globally, right? Like now that we don't, of course, we're U.S. citizens now, but we have access to live all over the world and travel and do things and learn from other people. So I'm looking towards freedom and what freedom looks like. I know so many Black people who are educated who have said, forget America and have moved to the motherland and are living great in Ghana and other places. So like I'm all about like Black liberation in any forms. It does not have to be on U.S. soil. And that's that on that. We can move on.
Right. So I'm glad you say that. What I want to ask you is, there's one last question that's one serious question that's near and dear to my heart, and I want you to carry this one for a second.
Okay.
I'm probably going to pop out of frame while I solve my technical issues, but I want you to talk about it. I promise you, I'll be right back.
No doubt.
I love my HIU.
Man,
what it like for you to be a Hamptonian, to have walked on the campus, know what Waterside is like, to know what it was at the first moment and so forth and so on when HU touched your soul, because it touched mine.
Man. Hampton University, man, I would not trade that experience for anything. Man, I was there during the prime time. My senior year is when we made it to we put Iowa out of the NCAA tournament. So I was there for some good moments. But being surrounded by so many different kinds of people at one time, just lovely Black people who was all about being Black and learning together, was like something you just really can't replace. I'm for all HBCUs. God bless everybody that went to a PWI. But if you have the opportunity to go to a HBCU, do it, because it's really the only time where you can truly be yourself and not have to worry about some ways of the world that are negative. But my Hampton experience was like second to none. I have made lifelong friends, people who have supported my art from day one. Most of them are Hamptonians. You know, we still are getting together, not only at homecomings. We went to and had a great time at the last time when we could travel at Battle of the Bands, and we went up to the Hampton Howard game in Chicago. It's like people that you love and know for a lifetime. You know what I mean? Something that's irreplaceable. But I stayed in Pierce. If anybody remembers like the freshman step shows, my year in Pierce was the first year Pierce won. Rest in peace, Pierce. They have torn that dorm down. But like those freshman year experiences, my very best friend met on the very second day of pre-college. You know what I'm saying? Now we've known each other longer than we haven't known each other. Shout out to Rob James. I mean, like, those bonds are just bonds that you just cannot replace. So like, man, Hampton University, I wish I had listened to Dr. Harvey when he said buy some property as soon as you get out of school. I should have bought a house in Southeast back then. I would be rich now. But maybe if I had it's okay, it's neither here nor there. Because I can't on the other side, can't believe that DC has changed in the way that it has. But shout out to DC for all the culture that it has. So I cannot ask for a better collegiate experience, man. HU was just what it was. So good.
Yeah, and it's funny, the God honest to God truth, and I didn't learn until after I left Hampton University, is that President Harvey is my uncle. Yeah, the same thing that you just the whole nine. Did you just yeah? And the whole time I was there, you used to see him come down, and you know how I used to do the little thing. He playing golf on the goddamn. And all the times, oh, that's person Harvey. Okay, cool, keep moving. And it's just like okay, and like five, 6 years later, it's just like you know that. Hey, yeah, I know Bill. That's your uncle.
Wow,
Yeah,
man, I would
y'all.
have taken advantage of that. That man really turned Hampton from in the red into the black. Like we got world renowned. Like we got technologies that nobody else has. Like not just PWIs. Like nobody has. Like that whole like cancer thing with the lasers. I forgot what it's called. Hampton Harvey is about pushing the envelope forward. So I'm all about that, man. It's time. I'm glad that he's going to finally get a chance to enjoy retirement. I'm excited to see what's next. Because this man been the president longer than I've been alive. So like a new president is just gonna be like a whole new feel of Hampton. So God
Yeah.
bless everybody that's in the running for that. I hope they keep the dream alive, keep this 150, 60 years of excellence going.
Yeah, nah, I mean, and let me, and I got to ask you this question. Did you walk across Ogden Circle?
Of course I did, and there's pictures to prove. But I did not do that until I already had graduated.
Right.
I did not do it beforehand. I was not about to jinx myself, but we had a good time singing on Ogden Steps, singing the alma mater and all those good songs, man. Love that time period.
Yeah, I do too, man. And then the last other little thing nostalgia that I gotta say is that if anybody that's a ham Tony, if you don't understand what ice milk is, you ain't got a ham
Jello,
Tony.
pudding, and fruit, man. I would kill to be able to hear that that Virginia Hall, Cleveland Hall dining room menu line little thing that they would say, man.
What the hell is ice milk, bro? Like, but then you be like, you go to appreciate it, or then I don't even know what her name was. Hey, baby, would you like to with such and such, baby? Here go,
Her.
baby. Everything is baby.
Now,
That was
I come to find out that she is not an anomaly. Like pretty much every black school has that lady.
oh, really?
It's like one of them in every school, which is crazy to me. But that's one of the good things about HBCUs. It's a similar
They
experience,
come,
but
they
there's no
come.
school like Hampton.
Hey, look, they come from the same planet or something because that's
Yes,
amazing.
sir.
But yeah, no, I had to throw that up there because again, I learned that you was a Hamptonian, I revel in these moments. These are awesome moments. Boy, you would get on my line. I need to get some Hampton apparel. I think by the next god daggone thing, I'm gonna have me some Hampton apparel. I
Yes,
promise
sir.
you.
I'm gonna send you some. I got access. I'm gonna send you some.
Bro, I had a dope jersey, bro. Like I had a dope, like 2001. I had a dope jersey. I don't even know where it's at, bro. If I go
Some,
find it again, it was
somebody
a,
got you.
no, it was a basketball jump. It wasn't even a
Okay.
baseball jump. Basketball
Okay.
jump. Crazy,
Oh, yeah.
stitched up, everything, bro. I don't know where it's at. So I don't think nobody got me. I think I got myself because I'm old. But
Oh, shoot. That's what's
so,
up.
any advice for aspiring talent so we can get you out?
Um, uh, Making good art is the start of everything. So putting your all into the what you actually make is going to make more difference than all the marketing and the connections and all things that people that you make. If you are a singer, you wake up and sing, you sing every day, you sing different kinds of songs, you get yourself out of your comfort zone. If you are a piano player, you play the piano every day. Like it's literally your craft. So like it shouldn't just be a hobby. It should be what you kind of like live and sleep and dream and think about. But
Yeah.
once you have a good product, I say you cannot be afraid to put yourself out there, right? Nobody can read your mind. Nobody is in your head. You have to put your art out there. Um, like Beyonce said, there's plenty of people who don't love me. There's plenty of people who don't like me, but there's more who love me, and I love myself, right? So it's like it doesn't matter if everybody don't like your art. You like it, and there will be some people that will like it as well. So you have to be confident in what you put out. And I'm all about, this is something I've learned later in life, that collaboration really is really super important, right? So if you are a aspiring person, you need to be working with other people who are up and coming as well, because not only you're going to learn from each other, but you kind of will rise together. And some people might, get places where you haven't been, and they can help you get there,
Right.
and make genuine friendships. Some places seem to be transactional, LA, but if you can make real friendships, that will be very beneficial. I say, if you're an aspiring artist, do not stop. I know so many people who have quit and wish they didn't. I know people who kept doing what they were going to do, and you wake up in the morning and they're DJing on Good Morning America, or they have a new show on FX, or they're doing great things. So the people who win are the people who don't give up.
If I may, can I throw my thought process into
Please do, man. I want to hear what you got to say anyway.
that? I think I agree with everything that you say 1,000%. I think the part that is missing, the gap in between what you're saying and the actual event of it happening, is that you have to you have to fortify exactly what it is that you are producing,
Mm,
because there's a lot of people that want to do something. There's a lot of people that want to be this thing, but you're not quite there yet. And then
mhm.
you hear conversation about, from other people about what you could be or what you should be. So you're jostling between what's real and what's not real. But in the grand scheme of things, if you just polarize who you are, become who you are. Like, if you think that this is the thing I hate about Will Smith, the thing is the thing I love about Will Smith is that when you go to a Will Smith movie, you're getting Will Smith playing Independence Day or playing In Pursuit of Happiness, or playing, it's Will Smith. But god damn it, you know good damn well what you're going to see when you get Will Smith. Same thing with Al Pacino. You getting that Denzel. You getting that Tom Hanks. He gives you a lot more of a malaise, but you getting Tom Hanks
True
playing
that.
such.
True
And
that.
I think, if you apply that logic to, like, say, DJ Fat Jules, it's like, I'm sorry, Father Jules. So I
Mhm.
apologize. That was
It's all
that
good.
DJ Father Jules. You get absolute works of art, but you become who you are. You're not worried about what everybody else say. Father Jules is what Father Jules is doing. What Father Jules do. Go ahead, please.
And then if I'm an artist and I've got my album and I say, I need something that's like gonna make me feel like this. I need to work with DJ Father Jules so I can get that for my album. You know what I'm saying? That's actually what I want to do. I want to be so myself that people want a piece of me on their projects. That's how I become more of a working producer, and a DJ. But
But I
that's
think,
that's what I'm looking for.
you're there. The
Well, thank you.
reality of it is like you said, you have your own recipe for how you need to be cooking. Whereas you scout out the talent, you scout out the people that fit what you're doing, and then at the end of the day, it's like, cool, I'm putting this project out, but I found these people and they're dope.
I like that, man. I'm taking that. I take that.
Please. Because at the end of the day, if you win, then it's like that's it. You know what I mean? And I think, to me, again, it goes back to my whole vibe. It's like, we want to empower people. We want to
Yeah,
empower people with the understanding is that you don't need these other entities to validate who you are and your art. Basquiat didn't have Interscope, or, you know what I mean? But, like, Basquiat was Basquiat. That's what made
true that.
Basquiat Basquiat.
True that.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, I did this and I lived. And, and like I told, and so you can understand who Donnie B got the beats is with the beat. I told, the beat was created so that my kids who do not live with me, they live with their mom.
Okay.
So that my kids can have a living record of, your dad did this and he knew these people and these people were dope. And he helped to impression a lot of people this way through his words. Period.
Yeah.
It don't matter
Yeah.
about the work. It don't matter about the money. The money's
Yeah.
gonna come as long
True.
as I'm who I am.
That is so true. I believe that wholeheartedly, man. And
So,
leaving a legacy is so tight, man. That's what I love about music, man. Prince, I mean, listen, Prince, the man, the legend, left us
a category.
vaults. You know what I'm saying? Our grandchildren's children will listen to that music. So it's like, put it out there for the world, man. That's how I feel.
Exactly. And I think Father Jules is definitely somebody that you need to pay attention to. You need to hear everything that he's got going on. And I'm not even saying that as a last plug. I'm saying it from a reality perspective of I've heard the work. I get
Appreciate that.
it. I see what you're doing. And I appreciate the creativity because again, you have an artist eye, you have an artist ear, you're creative, which is a whole new lane. So,
It
that's
feels good. It's a wide lane too. And I feel freedom with it because it's like me being a Sagittarius, it's like, yeah, I made me a house music album in 2021. And if I feel like doing an R&B album in 2022, I will. And y'all gonna love it.
we definitely gonna touch on that. And like I said, at the end of after this, hang on for about 2 or 3 more minutes. I know
For
I
sure.
didn't borrow way too much of
It's
your
all
time
good.
already,
It's all good. No,
but
brother, this has been all fun for me. I appreciate every moment.
great. But like I said, 2 to 3 more minutes, I want to run some stuff by you. But I
Okay.
do want to ask the last question of the
Okay.
day.
Okay.
How can people learn more about you, man? Please
Oh,
feel free to shout out whatever links, however people can reach you, put it out. If you got any shout outs, please feel free to do it in this space.
ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. So how do you get in touch with DJ Father Jules? The easiest way is to go to my Instagram, which is DJ Father Julz. But I also have a very nice website, which is djfatherjulz.com. I've had that same website for quite some time. You
Okay.
can find me on Twitter. I have a DJ Father Julz Facebook page. And on my Instagram, you can get my phone number and you can get my email. So I'm very approachable. Okay, guys? If you want to work on music, if you want to put music out there, if you want to remix, if you want me to talk to you about how I did it, I will do that because I'm about lifting people up. So you can find my new album Dawn. It comes out on May 7th. It will be on Spotify and Apple Music. I would love for y'all to stream the hell out of it so
Big stuff.
I can trigger that algorithm because the more times you stream it, the more other people will hear it. I appreciate all of that love, guys.
Yeah.
Um, what you can do to help me is to share. So Instagram has changed the algorithm. Likes don't mean anything. Sharing and saving posts make more difference than just likes. So if you share my music and share my posts, that's really super helpful. I do want to shout out my team. I have a creative team that I have been working with for quite some time. Shout out to AJ Brown, Hamptonian. Shout out to my cousin Abney and my best friend Kenesha. Shout out to my Flint folks. Shout out to the whole James family because they've been represented out here. Thank you, M and Biz and Brandon. Thank you to all of my Hamptonians. Thank you to the BTN crew. Dr. Danielle literally just opened my whole DJ world back up during the pandemic. Shout out to Dr. Ayana Jordan. Shout out to the people that have been supporting me from day one. And
Mm.
shout out to all of the new fans, man. I appreciate you. You people who are probably watching this with Italian subtitles and Portuguese subtitles and Spanish subtitles. I love you all. Keep playing DJ Father Julz. Go back and listen to my old stuff and stay tuned for what's coming. I appreciate everybody out there. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. And I just get all of that, brother. All that love. You deserve it, man. You
Appreciate
have
that.
been grinding. And like I told previous guests, man, we gotta give each other our flowers while we here, brother. Like at the end of the day, because what else is it for? It's like it's cool, it's great for everybody else, but we the ones who's working.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. And shout
So
out to you, man. I literally I like to know who I'm talking to. So I was like, I'm so mad that I've never heard this song before because this shit is fire. Like the regular version and the remix version you have, that's your latest song that's on Spotify. Uh,
5 minutes.
oh my god! I was like, man, this is fire. I will play this. I will play this. Okay. So shout out to you. I appreciate you for this venue setting this whole communication up. Like I feel like this is gonna help people. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. It's designed for the people, by the people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just I'm an artist too, but it
Yeah,
was one of those things as to where it's like, look, I'm tired of chasing the plug. I need to set it up to be the plug to let other people on, so they don't got to chase the plug. You know what I mean?
that's what's up.
You get it, and hopefully everybody else do it, and that's what I'm leaning on and I'm banking on, and it's coming to fruition. But at the end of the day, we celebrate you regardless, no matter what. And thank you for your
Appreciate you.
talent. Thank you for everything you do. Listen, like I said, nothing I said was bullshit. At the end of the day, everything I said was facts because that's how I live. I definitely appreciate you. I celebrate you. I recognize your talent. I want to spotlight it, uplift it. People need to understand what we got here. Because again, people always want to talk about when we gone. It's like, oh, well, he was such a uh, genius and all this extra. No, bro. Let's give it to you while you were here, so you understand exactly what keeps you getting out of bed. The moments and days when you don't want to get out of bed and the whole nine, and it is what it is. We got to understand, just like M said, I try to get the great interviews because we need people want to aspire, they just don't know how most of the time. And
That's
at the
true.
end of the day, they need to learn from people like you who doing your thing and breaking ground on new territory and not scared and unapologetic, and that's it. So this is our bravado. This is our thing. The Aaron Rodgers, the fact double check or whatever. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
that, man. At the end of the day, I am mad proud of you as a Hamptonian,
Appreciate
mad proud of you as a brother. Bro, I
you.
celebrate you. And if I can be a resource to be able to help get you where you need to go, absolutely. You know me now.
Oh, yes,
So
sir.
let's keep the relationship going.
You can
Period.
bet. You can bet on that, brother.
Absolutely. So stay tuned after the credits. Like I said, me and you gonna have a sidebar. But I
Okay.
appreciate you. Any last words you got for people that's tuning in?
Take care of each other, guys. People are leaving this world every day. Live every moment as is if it was your last, and hug on people that you love. Keep God first. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Signing out. See y'all on May 7th.
He said about everything I needed to say. All I'm gonna say is that Hampton is life. We love everybody that is Hamptonian, and we love everybody else afterwards in the same regard. Much love and respect. Thank you for tuning into the beat. We have more people tuned in. Brianna Lauren is going to be on Sunday.
Okay.
The PG County, Washington D.C. DMV Born and Bred. She's doing big things. Uh,
Okay.
Other episodes coming up real soon. Everybody that is on the beat gets IMDb credits, so you are now charted with IMDb credits as well. You are in
Hey.
shout out to everybody that's paying attention. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being supportive. We are now going into season 4 of the beat, and we have reached as far out as Africa. It is not a video game. We are doing really big things.
That's what's up.
Thank you. Donnie B got the beat signing off, and we out. Peace.
Donnie B.